Spencer here with me.
It's good to see you. It's good to be here at E3. Fantastic week as always. How you doing?
I'm fine, Phil. Thank you very much for
I love the Ori shirt.
Yeah, I love Ori. I'm suspected to say
perfect game.
for me it's a 10 out of 10 game. I reviewed it, and yes, I'm looking forward to play Ori and the Will of the Wisps and a lot of more games. So we know that you feel you're a guy with a great vision of the industry. You have an holistic vision, a worldwide vision, and I mean, we have a lot to talk about. We have seen a lot at the Xbox briefing conference. So where to begin with? I mean, Scarlett, Project xCloud, Xbox Game Studios, world-class compatibility, Ken Reeves, your T-shirt. So
Did you figure it out? Did you figure out what my T-shirt was?
I'm gonna ask you that in a
Okay.
bit. But to begin with, Phil, we have seen a lot of games announced from Xbox Game Studios. So multiplayer games, single-player games, indie games, small games, medium games, big games. What can fans expect about single-player experiences? Precisely, single-player experiences coming from Xbox Game Studios.
Yeah, we had 14 Xbox Game Studios on our stage. The cool thing is 12 of those games, I think it'll be 12, are actually shipping in the next 12 months. So these are all games that people will be able to get their hands on now to go play. And we know that players love a mix of single-player games and multiplayer games. One of the things that I wanted to make sure of, because one of the games I really loved on our stage was Bleeding Edge. But Bleeding Edge is obviously a multiplayer game. And I know when we acquired Ninja Theory, Hellblade's one of my favorite games of this generation. And it was great to have Dom come out and really talk about the fact that single player and we're working on other things inside of Ninja Theory to put people at ease, to make sure, hey, this isn't somehow Microsoft telling this studio that now you got to go build a bunch of multiplayer games. And in many ways, it's the opposite. If I think about what our portfolio is, it's great to have teams coming in and building great single player games. And we opened the show with Outer Worlds from Obsidian, which I think is going to be a fantastic franchise for us in the long run. You know, I think about Wasteland 2 from In Exile. I know Gears, and I got some feedback that people would have loved to see the Gears single player on stage, but Gears always has a single player campaign, and it will, and we'll show more of that. So I know having big, epic single player stories is important to Xbox and our first party teams. When you think about even like what Double Fine does, and maybe Double Fine's not doing the kind of hyper realistic core of the games, but they're doing a very good job with storytelling, unique characters and settings. So, you know, I hear from our fans what they want, and we're definitely building out a great organization to deliver those kind of games.
Yeah, and Double Fine, I'm a very big fan of Tim Schafer. He's a genius of the industry, one of the geniuses of the industry. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, and I thought he's so funny. I thought he did a great job on the stage. You know, I've known Tim for coming up on 20 years. We worked with him on Psychonauts back on the original Xbox. So, you know, we had stayed close to him, and as we had the chance with the support of the company to reinvest in our first party and build it, and Matt Booty there running that, it was a great conversation with Tim that started earlier this year around where he wanted to go with Double Fine, and could we help add some stability to him and let him really focus on the games that he wanted to go build. So it worked out really well, and he was awesome on stage. Yeah, and you think about the track record of that guy, and he's just put out some of the best games our industry's ever seen. I can't wait to see what he does in the future.
Yeah, that's a very big portfolio. And Phil, about the world-class compatibility, which is a trademark for Xbox right now. So I know we can't talk a lot about the next generation right now, Scarlett, but we expect that the original Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the next Xbox systems are going to be all compatible in one system. Are you working on something towards that goal?
Yeah, you know, and I actually want to make sure that's clear to people that the original Xbox games and 360 games that work on your Xbox One today, which is great. We had just a big drop of them yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah. A bunch of new games that are coming. All of your Xbox One games, we designed Project Scarlett to play all of those games. Your controllers that you're using now on your Xbox One will work on Project Scarlett, even our new Elite Series 2 that's coming.
That's nice to know.
Yeah, so you could buy that now and know that it will work on Project Scarlett, because, you know, more and more people are playing games for many, many years. And this idea that when another piece of hardware comes out that you need to go put everything back in the closet and start anew. Doesn't really work in a world of Minecraft and PUBG and Fortnite and these big games that have massive communities. And frankly, I think it's better for creators if their creations can reach more people. So it was something that was critical to us in the design.
Yeah, and we know that talking about future, we have Project xCloud, which is one of the most ambitious things that Microsoft is doing right now in gaming. I think it is one of my dreams, personally speaking. When can I come out of home and continue playing my games? So we know that you are starting in a few countries around the world, and specifically in Brazil or worldwide. Let's speak worldwide. How is the expansion plans for Project xCloud after the initial launch?
Yeah, the first thing that we're doing is listening. One of the things I've definitely learned during this generation is the voice of our customer is so critical in what we do. It's not about us figuring out the next 5 years and just kind of putting our heads down and building that. So even being here at E3, and I don't know if you've had a chance to use Project xCloud yet, but having people, the thousands of people come and pick up a phone, play their Xbox games, connected to a data center hundreds of miles from here, and getting the feedback on that. As you said, we're going to start this fall in October with a preview with people, so they'll give us the same feedback. We're picking a few countries to kind of launch that in and continue to expand. We know that this should be about reaching everybody who's an Xbox customer, and that is our goal. And even in getting specific on Brazil, I know with Brazil and ping times and other things, this is an issue. I have a lot of friends I play games with in Brazil. So one of the things about being inside of Microsoft is the global ambition that Azure has. And one of the conversations I have quite frequently is with Scott Guthrie, who runs the Azure team. And as he sees the xCloud plan building momentum and customers loving it, we have good discussions about where should we be pouring cement and building new data centers, not just from a business perspective of Azure, but thinking about xCloud. So I just want to assure our Brazilian customers that we hear them. We know that even the ping times in the games today can sometimes be an issue. And with Project xCloud, definitely supporting the Brazil fans is part of our goal.
Nice to know, because this is the future. I mean, 10 years ago, I couldn't think about something about that. I mean, when can I play my games on my cell phone? At that time, we didn't have those cell phones right now, smartphones right now. Yeah. And now we have PC, Xbox, cell phones. So this is fantastic, Phil. Congratulations for what you're doing. Looking forward to see it. But I need to ask you about your T-shirt at E3. So you used State of Decay 2 T-shirts. You used Battletoads T-shirt, as I recall. But this T-shirt for this year briefing, you were using like a forest green with a brain. What was that?
So, completely honest, you're the first one I've talked to this about, so you got the scoop on this one. I came to E3 expecting to wear a plain T-shirt. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do anything on my shirt, and it was right outside of the room that we're in right now. Tim Schafer comes by and he says, we just printed these Psychonaut shirts up, literally right behind the studio. They had a silk screener right behind the studio, and he said, hey, do you want to wear it? And I said, I'm going to wear that on stage. And he's like, and we knew obviously we were announcing Double Fine on stage. And he's like, are you think anybody's going to figure it out? I don't think people will figure it out. PR was a little worried that somebody might figure it out. And I said, if I have my jacket on and it's the right way, and there were actually, if you look at the show, there were a couple little teasers about Double Fine in the show before we announced them. But it was a Psychonauts t-shirt that Tim gave me the day before the show. He and I had to arm wrestle to see whether he was going to wear it or I was going to get to wear it. No, he let me wear it on stage. And it was just kind of, as my friend, as I said, with Tim and what he's done building Double Fine, I was very proud of him that he was able to get to this moment, and it was an honor to get to wear his shirt on stage.
Yeah, I love platforming games, so, when I saw Psychonauts and Double Fine, but yeah, congratulations for you, because we didn't realize it was Psychonauts. I mean, I have to confess that I Googled it on the internet, Phil Spencer t-shirt E3 2019. Yeah, but no one. No clues.
Good.
No clues.
Good. That was I didn't want it to because I wanted the moment where Matt comes out and Tim comes out to kind of be the moment where they announced it. So I'm glad that we were able to be sly enough that nobody figured it out.
Yeah, and Phil, I have two more questions for you. One is a very important question because Microsoft is a very inclusive company. We are seeing a great message coming from you, from Xbox team, from Microsoft, and we know that you guys are working towards a goal where everybody can play and everybody wins. So outside, in the outdoor, I have seen a phrase, discover your next game. What is your next favorite game, Phil?
I'm going to go through our briefing. So we had 60 games in our briefing, which is more than we've ever had. And let me pick a couple games that really intrigued me. No. I'll tell you 12 minutes. Did you see that game?
Yes.
Like that game, I think is very compelling, right? Very compelling. Honestly, I haven't played it. So, but when I was watching, I've seen the video and the asset get built over the months that we've been working on this. Very compelling. Another game, I'm purposely not picking our own games that I won't probably playing because I'm too scared, but I thought looked great was Blair Witch on our stage.
I was going to tell you that.
It's like too scary for me.
My favorite.
but too scary. I was like, I might have to turn all the lights on to play that game when it comes out. Phantasy Star coming back to Xbox. I wanted to make sure I had a time on stage to be able to talk about working with Sega to finally bring that back to here and to have people get to experience what Phantasy Star was all about. So that was fun. I'm really looking forward to Crossfire.
Yes.
Crossfire's, most people don't know what Crossfire is. Crossfire is probably the biggest first-person shooter in the world.
A huge community.
Huge. 650 million people have played this game. Getting to work with Smilegate to bring it to Xbox next year is going to be awesome. Like they're just over the top the things that they're doing in that game. But it's always great to get to work with new partners. So I love the fact that we could go from 12 minutes to Crossfire and then like in the middle of the show Flight Sim, which just looked crazy. There's
epic.
2 petabytes of data behind that game, real-time weather, like the things they're doing in that game, fantastic. So I didn't really just pick one, but those are some things as I was just kind of watching the show that I thought were just really, really compelling.
Yeah, and Phil, I need to ask that. I mean, it's a little bit of a tough question, but I'm expecting the RPG from Playground guys. Is it?
I don't know what you're
is
talking
it
about.
Fable?
I don't know
is
what you're
it?
talking about.
Is it? I mean, it's in development, all right?
Here's what I will say. I love the fact that we could have 60 games on our stage, 14 from our first party, 12 shipping the next year. And there were so many things we did not talk about. Yeah. What is the initiative working on? Didn't talk about it. What is Playground's second game working on? Didn't talk about it.
Compulsion.
Didn't talk about what Rare's working on for the second game. Didn't talk about what Compulsion's working on. What is Turn 10 doing? Turn 10 wasn't even on our stage. Yeah. So, when I think about where we've been in the past, many times I think we've had to show more than sometimes even I wanted to show because it was just those were the studios that we had. And now I really love the fact that we have a broader first-party organization where we can go through 60 games and have a compelling show ending with Halo, all of that. And still have so many things that people are like, I wonder what that team's working on. I wonder what that team's working on. I love that. I love the fact that we can now pace the releases, give teams the time to get to the right creative before we're actually out there talking about things. And it's going to be a fun next couple of years.
Yeah. And if I can tell you my personal favorite game, so first-party studios, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is the number one for me. And third-party studios, the Elden Ring, I'm looking forward to see it. Cyberpunk, Miyazaki-san, and it's nice to see this partnership between Microsoft and Miyazaki-san and George R.R. Martin. So, wow. And Phil, any special message for your millions of Brazilian fans that are going to see this interview?
I just say that the passion and commitment that the Brazilian fan shows to Xbox is unmatched by anyone. Like it is amazing when I get online and I see the gamer tags popping in. Everybody's got BR in their gamer tag, and I'll just get such nice notes from people. And I try to spell obrigado back and let people know that I'm happy that they're loving Xbox. I love that I get feedback from them, but we made a point to start going to BGS, and we've made a point to start talking more and more about both the success that we've had and the importance of the Latin American markets and Brazil in particular, because I think in many times the North American and European press will forget that anybody lives south of the equator.
Yeah.
And we know that those markets are real game markets for us, important, with millions of passionate fans there who love to play games. So I love the fact that they're kind of rising to that, and they're vocal, they're here at E3. And I just think, like, what I'd say is we're continue to be committed to listening to you and doing the best work we can for our Brazilian customers.
All right, Phil, thank you very much for being here with us. You are a guy with a great vision, as I said. You are very humble. You're different, Phil. I think you're special, and the industry needs more guys like you. So thank you for talking to me as you talk it right now, looking at my eyes, looking at people's eyes, and looking forward to see the next generation and Xbox Game Pass and everything that's coming out from you guys.
Thank you, sir. It's always good to see you.
Alright, então é isso, galera do Voxel. Eu sou o Bruno Micali, esse foi o Phil Spencer, o líder, o head de Xbox Mundial. Continue seguindo a cobertura mais monstra do Brasil na E3 2019. Valeu, galera!